You are interested in finding a 90% confidence interval for the mean number of visits for physical therapy patients. The data below show the number of visits for 14 randomly selected physical therapy patients. Round answers to 3 decimal places where possible. So we're given a sample, and we're actually given the data values. So we're going to plug these into our calculator here, and we'll just calculate our confidence interval. So I will go to Stat, and you see Edit is highlighted, Enter, and I've put my data in, and you put your data in by just clicking the number and hitting Enter for all the values. So I went through and put all my numbers in, and it's always good to double check to make sure you have your numbers in correctly so we don't calculate a wrong confidence interval. So I have my numbers in there, so I'm going to second quit, and we want to calculate the confidence interval, and I'm going to use a t-distribution, and the reason is I have a small data set, and I don't have my population standard deviation, so the t-distribution works really well in this situation. I'm going to hit Stat, scroll over to Test, and I'm going to look for t-interval. As I scroll down, looks like it's number 8. Enter. Now, if I was given my sample mean and sample standard deviation, I would use stats. But I actually have my data into list 1, so I'm going to enter. I want to use my data set. It is list 1. And if it doesn't say list 1, or if you have it in a different list, you can see down here's where your lists are if you need to add them. And I don't have a frequency list. It's just one per number. And is a 90% confidence interval, so 0.9. And then I'm going to go down to Calculate and Enter. And it might take it a second or two to come up with our interval. And there's our interval, 10.122 and 17.735. And sometimes there's a little bit of a rounding, but that's not really that big of a deal. It just depends on how the calculator rounds your numbers or your intervals.